in this little game.
I hope they come back.
It should be careful with those flames.
Testing.
It should be careful with those flames.
Testing. Can you hear me? Testing. Can you hear me?
I'm the steward here. Sid Gear can sometimes act too quickly, but he does listen to help.
I protect the Jarl, whoever that might be.
Good to see. Yes. What is it that you want? Difficult. I'm a Jarl. Meanwhile, my very capable steward sees to the needs of the... Being a Jarl could hardly be... Teach them here. You know... I hereby grant you permission to purchase property in Falk. There is room in my... However, you help my people. On your way then. Come and see me again sometime. I might have some use for you.
May your next fight bring you victory, friend. Lead then. You have my steel.
I'm the steward here. There's no house available. You won't regret. Follow the road east from Falkreath, then north at the crossroads. Turn left just past Pine Watch.
If either these Nords or Imperials had some I know, but what you... That's why the inn is called Dead Man's Drink. Farm is called Corpse Light Farm, and so on. I suppose.
Hope investing in their stores counts.
Someone new? Perhaps someone... Well, my family. When I found this town, with its huge cemetery... Long as you... A little wheat. We have plenty of ingredients for... Take a look. Put that down. Call upon me if I can be of any service. Don't let the shop's name frighten you away. I have plenty of reliable tonics and healing potions to sell.
see a hound on the road. There's one out. If you are willing to retrieve it, good. There's some gold in it for you if you succeed. Here's the meat. Check the road just outside of town. Steel's good, but loyalty's better. I'm loyal to Den Gear. Looking to protect yourself? Or deal some damage? See me at my forge if you need arms or armor.
Strangers like you bring war.
Try not to judge Valkyrie too harshly, visitor. The war has been hard on us. I'm sorry, I should really go now.
I would... Oh, not again. Last, are you loyal to Skyrim? Good. Mind what you say. The Empire has ears all over this town.
The god Kust is responsible for the... There's nothing more I can teach you. But he willingly... War... Kust is my assistant. I am. Unfortunately, could you do an old elf a favor? Blessing of Arcady for your help. It is...
I don't recall this. Like I thought, this is a mod.
Want something from me?
Yes?
You have a grim look. You need my strength again? I'll be whole.
Need something?
Must be down further then. Alright, back to Falkreath.
Ghost, thank you. It's a collection of regrets that I try not to forget. Here, I promise you this.
The graveyard has been lonely. Few
A sad time. Honest pay for honest work. Our daughter, our little girl. She hadn't seen her 10th winter.
I'm the steward here. The Jarl has put out a bounty on some bandits. Here, take a look at this decree for details.
Someone new? Perhaps
May
someone
wisdom forever light
looking
your
for me.
path.
Falkreath's warrior. Always one way or another.
Steel's good, but loyalty's better. I was Dengir's personal guard for years. Why would I do that? A true Nord places loyalty and honor above all else.
I was you. What's this, some kind of... Well, he's not spying, but it's clear the imp don't let... Good work. Take this. You're doing... Mind what you say all around here. The Empire. Unless you and... over this town. I just... Could you deliver the ashes to... Thank you. All right.
Oh.
I protect the Jarl, whoever that might be.
Good. Yes. Then, but I grant you, I'll also notify my guards of your new title. Wouldn't want them to think you're part of the common rabble now.
The Jarl has appointed me to lead on, Thane. My blade.
Okay, now.
Always yours to command.
Lakeview Manor. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Well, I can always make more. Building materials.
Yes, my Thane. Do you need something? Fine. What? What? I'm still here. The Jarl has recognized the title of Thane is an honor, a gift for you. As my Thane, I'm sworn to your service. I'll go. Of course, Thane. How can I be of service? Let's go.
See. I guess so long as I don't attack them, they won't hurt me.
A guest? Oh my. Other people just make things complex. Out here, Hearn and I can get everything we need from the occasional traveler. We supply Falkreath to the south. Falkreath trades with the surrounding holds, and without our wood, they would have trouble. We have guests as often as we can, but there aren't a lot of travelers these days. Doing some building, eh? I'll have them hold over right away. Doing some building, eh? I'll have them hold over doing some building, eh? I'll have them hold over right doing some building, eh? I'll have them hold over right doing some building, eh? I'll have them hold over right doing some building, eh? I'll have them hold over right away.
I know there was a spot around here that had a pickaxe with it. It's down here. Yeah, there we are. We're just gonna let this go for a while. And I'll just turn on YouTube.
You can't really escape sequels. Once a developer has a good idea which sells pretty well, there's a natural desire to have some kind of follow-up, since we all have that inbuilt want to improve, and money is also nice, I guess. In a perfect world, you make a sequel and it's always better than the original. Some of the time this is correct, and other times the sequel is so good that you wonder what the hell was going on with the first game. Like, damn guys, did you learn that much, or were you holding back on us before? But then it goes in a different direction, where a sequel comes out, does really well, and nobody remembers or cares about the first game, even though that one's worth your time as well. Video games are so disposable these days. Sometimes when something newer and shinier comes out, there's a tendency for it to completely overshadow a fairly decent game. Fast forward years later, and who actually cares anymore? I guess this is a video about underrated video games, but specifically where an amazing sequel makes the original game look a little bit less appealing for whatever reason. I think it's more interesting to talk about cases where the first game is actually pretty decent, because then it becomes like, why was it overshadowed? Does it deserve it? I mean, probably, but that just makes it more fun. Competitive video games are tremendously expendable. Only a handful of titles ever reach the coveted inner circle of intense esports action, with big tournaments, massive rosters of professional players, and hundreds of thousands of people watching the live stream. It's an exclusive club, but goddamn if it isn't fun watching other games hard trying to get a piece of the action. Like the litany of mobile games, and Umbrella Corps tried this for a while. It didn't go well. I'm sure there was a reason why. Smash Bros went big on the competitive fighting scene around about the same time when Melee was at its peak, whenever that was. But enough people came along for the ride for it to be wildly popular at the highest level for well over a decade. It's a reasonably refined video game with hidden features for the aspiring player to master, and it's been well supported for a long time now. It's also a sequel, but you can afford me. To be fair to the original Super Smash Bros. Game, Melee absolutely annihilates it in every conceivable way. I don't even think it's a hardware issue. It's like Nintendo made a game for the N64 with a handful of their best characters and then went fucking crazy for the GameCube and crammed this disc with so much more content. Luckily, this isn't a test of whether Melee is better than Smash Bros. On the N64, and more of an observation that while Melee has this massive dedicated fanbase these days, the original N64 game has been spectacularly forgotten by comparison. It's to be expected though, since Smash 64 didn't have the biggest budget, and given the strange concept of various Nintendo mascots beating the shit out of each other, Nintendo's confidence in it was low enough for Smash 64 to be a Japan-only game at the start. If Japan hadn't loved it as much as they did, it would have stayed there. But yeah, it's not a bad game at all, it's just a little light on the content. Still, Samus Aran hadn't been in a game for 5 years and made her 3D debut in Smash 64, so it deserves its pretty big place in history. Depending on who you ask and what part of EVO you're walking around at the time, there are some people who think that Smash Bros. Melee is one of the greatest games of all time, and that is very much debatable, but it just goes to show how hard Smash 64 would have to work to stay relevant. It started a massive series. It doesn't really need to do anything else. I'd like to retract my earlier comment about how competitive video games are only relevant until they bring out a new one, and upgrade it to encompass any multiplayer game ever made, especially online ones. The average shelf life of a multiplayer game has decreased over the years as the market becomes more and more oversaturated with similar video games being released faster than people can spend any decent time with them. It means that the consumer is on a constant lookout for a unique selling point that elevates one or a couple of games above the rest, and convinces you that this is where you should be spending your time. The kind of charm and character used in multiplayer shooters like Team Fortress 2 and Overwatch has allowed these games to attract fans from all sorts of different backgrounds, which in turn, alongside regular updates, safeguards them from suffering too many setbacks. Even at its lowest ebb, you can always find enjoyment in Team Fortress 2 by listening to the characters saying dumb shit and watching enemies explode like violent fireworks. There came a point in TF2's development where unrealistic gameplay had to be matched with cartoony graphics for everything to fit together nicely. This meant that Team Fortress 1 was left behind a bit. But then again, that was always likely considering that Team Fortress was just a mod for Quake, and Team Fortress Classic was just that same mod ported to Valve's new engine to promote Half-Life's development kit. So it was ambitious, but not too ambitious. The sequel went through 9 years worth of development where Valve meticulously refined how each character would look and act, and even though Team Fortress Classic is a very playable game, it just can't stack up against its louder, more colourful sequel. Despite the impossible uphill battle for popularity, Team Fortress Classic has its fans who still get a kick out of a slightly more realistic Valve multiplayer shooter, which isn't called Counter-Strike. And I feel that a bit of polish applied to the graphics and a few of the mechanics would make it something even more worthy of your time. There's cause for optimism these days because Valve have recently remembered that Team Fortress 2 exists, so it's not as much of a stretch anymore. Baby steps, guys, baby steps. At some point, every big developer will have the open world dream, where they think to themselves, hey, why don't we take our big mascot character who's been in loads of different games up to this point, and put them in a larger overworld where everything is sort of connected. I like that, let's do that. And loads of developers have done this recently. I'm guessing this was kind of the inspiration behind Red Dead Redemption, but that was made by Rockstar, and they already knew what they were doing. Before I did any research, I thought Red Dead Redemption came about as a sequel to a game that not many people know about because of some kind of takeover. Like, some small studio makes Red Dead Revolver as a Wild West third-person shooter, runs out of money, only for Rockstar to swing in heroically to take the IP to exciting new heights, but this is not the case. As it goes, Red Dead Revolver had problems with development right up until it was released in 2004. Capcom were publishing the game until they cancelled it in 2003, only for Rockstar to take full control of the project and release it a year later. It came out after Grand Theft Auto had made the switch from top-down crime simulator to three-dimensional crime simulator. And that went pretty well, so why wouldn't every Rockstar game be like this? Red Dead Redemption overshadows Red Dead Revolver by a huge margin. Of course it's a better game, because, unsurprisingly, 800 people working for 5 years on getting the absolute most out of an open-world setting and a story that suits the tone the game is going for, tends to create one of the best games ever made. That's kind of how that works. But that's just it, isn't it? You stack most games against one of the greatest games of all time, and they'll probably struggle for attention. You only gotta look at some of the games that have come out this year to see that. Given the focus that the Red Dead series has now, Revolver has very little chance of gaining someone's attention over games with such a large amount of fine-tuning. But the good news is that if this kind of game does seem inviting to you, Rockstar re-released it on the PlayStation Store for PS4, and it's quite cheap. So maybe being overshadowed has its benefits, weirdly. Remember that earlier comment about a game being overshadowed by a sequel because of some kind of takeover? Well, while that didn't apply to Red Dead Revolver, it most certainly applies to another sequel that most people don't process as a sequel. Dota 2, or Defense of the Ancients 2, is also a big game in the esports scene, and at times like this I realise that most of this video sounds the same, like I'm talking about roughly the same things all of the time, but the story behind Dota 2, and by extension Dota, is a lot more complicated, and kind of the reason why I never wondered why I've heard of the sequel, but not the original. There's an interesting reason. Mostly because Dota 1 and Dota 2 are both MOBAs, and I kind of don't really care about MOBAs. Shooters get a lot of flack for all of them looking kind of the same, but you show me any footage from some random MOBA, and I will struggle to care enough to find the difference between the two. So clearly, I am the right person to explain the controversy behind Valve's acquisition of the Dota brand. Everything in this video is related in some way. Actually, that line about all MOBAs being the same acts as an interesting subplot to the history of Dota 2. The original Dota came out in 2003 as a mod of Warcraft 3, and quickly established itself and its genre as a big deal that everyone should get involved with. I'm sure it's good. I'm not at liberty to divulge because this might be League of Legends for all I know. But then an interesting thing happened in 2009 when Icefrost, the designer behind Dota 1, was hired by Valve, the company with all the money. This led to Dota becoming Valve's intellectual property, and then Valve wanted a standalone sequel, and that's how we got Dota 2. But then there's another branch to this story. People who worked on Dota 1 went on to work on League of Legends, and I think some of them remade Dota 1 into something called Heroes of New Earth, which briefly had a large share of the market before Dota 2 landed and took it all away. Nowadays, Dota 2 has 7.5 million people playing it regularly, while the original Defense of the Ancients and Heroes of New Earth can barely crack 50,000. I'm sure they're all good in some way. Does Heroes of the Storm fit in here somewhere? I feel like it could if we tried hard enough. Contrary to all the stuff I've been saying in this video, it is possible for two great games to exist side by side without either one overshadowing the other. Think about Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, Pokemon Gold and Silver alongside Pokemon Red and Blue, Portal 1 and 2, all amazing games that showcase the wonderful work that the sequel can do without making the original irrelevant in every way. Though, when you put it that way, it almost sounds like sequels being too good is to the detriment of the original, and probably. I don't think Capcom cared too much considering what Street Fighter 2 did for that franchise. Really, if you want an example of how to start a series off on the right foot, this game right here. It does a lot of things right. Oh wait, this game came 4 years after the game that actually started off this franchise. Everyone remembers Street Fighter. Don't even get me started on Street Fighter 1. It's kind of weird though, since a lot of influential retro classics that have since been surpassed many times over by subsequent entries are still revered and remembered for the role they had in setting up the franchise so well, but Street Fighter 1 doesn't get this privilege. And I'd argue that it should, because it did a ton of work that Street Fighter 2 built up 4 years after. Capcom had never made a one-on-one fight and no one had made a fighting game that featured special attacks and quite certain button inputs before Street Fighter showed them the way. Plus, you've got Ken and Ryu beating the crap out of a few of the regulars, so it's not too far removed from one of the greatest games of all time. But yeah, that's why. It's like Red Dead Redemption all over again, except Red Dead Redemption wasn't incredible at the perfect time or in a genre that was in need of a game to provide inspiration for numerous competitors over the coming decade. Street Fighter 1 helped out its sequel in a big way, but Street Fighter 2 provided the foundations for all fighting games that came after. I'd still argue that it deserves a bit more love, but the original is living in the shadow of an incredibly important game that spawned numerous updated versions that were ported to a load of consoles and basically every other fighting game after this. The interesting subplot to all of this is that the two people behind the first Street Fighter left Capcom after it came out, and then spent the 90s working for their direct competitors. There are a lot of fighting games in fact, and I think they work for most of them. You can take the designer out of Street Fighter, but you can't take Street Fighter out of it.
What the hell just happened?
This is Remember Luigi, and while it might not seem like the original Street Fighter gets the credit it deserves, or that it's being constantly overshadowed by its sequel, you gotta remember that the only way that Street Fighter...
Alright, let's try this again. That went much better. Alrighty. I've been ignoring my conjuration skills for a while. Now, where's the path to the next area? Maybe there's a chest around here. Oh, hell yes. Mind you, I can always make one, but still, it's always better to find one. Well, that was easy. Nah. Nope. Hello. What's up? Yeah, same here. I always forget about that one. Nice. At one point I had a lot of mods installed, but it just kept screwing up with my file, so eventually I just chose the ones I really liked and the ones that benefit me the most. Definitely take that. I think that's everything. That's nothing. There's nothing there, so we're out. Alrighty. Pretty sure that's everything worth taking in here. Let's check the books. Whoa. This seems to be a bit darker than what it usually looks like. I'm not used to doing live streams. I only just started this about 2, maybe 3 days ago. There's the sun.
On your way up the 7,000 steps again?
Not today. I'm just not ready.
What's that? All right. Oh, wait. Time for some fun. Oh, wait. Sorry about that.
So, a Dragonborn appears at this moment in the... Show us, Dragonborn. Let us taste of your voice. I am Master An. Now, tell me, Dragonborn. We are here to guide you in that. You are not... Whether you are... You are the only one that has been revealed. But you have shown that... But... Do you have the discipline and temperament to follow the path laid out for you? Without training, you have already taken the first steps towards projecting your voice into a thum, a shout. Now let us see if you are willing and able to learn. When you shout, you speak in the language of dragons. Thus, your dragon blood gives you an inborn ability to learn words of power. All shouts are made up of 3 words of power. As you master each word, your shout will become progressively stronger. Master Einar will now teach you roll, the second word in unrelenting force. Roll means balance in the dragon tongue. Combine it with fus, force, to focus your thumb or shot. Roll. But learning a word of power is only the first step. You must unlock its meaning through constant practice in order to use it in a shot. Well, that is how the rest of us learn our shots. As Dragonborn, you can absorb a slain dragon's life force and knowledge directly. As part of your initiation, Master Einar will allow you to tap into his understanding of role. Use your unrelenting force.
Yes, my friend. Yes, Thane. Be careful.
Well done. Again. You learn quickly. Once more. Impressive. Your thumb is precise. You show great promise, Dragon. We will perform your next trial in the courtyard. Follow Master Boy.
I wonder how much a PlayStation 4 camera for my PS4 costs. Sorry about that. I work 3rd shifts. Intend to stay up until I to about 5 in the afternoon, then go to bed. Because, as I always say, sleep is for the weak. Except on the days when I really need it.
I see that you have already begun to learn the whirlwind sprint shot. Master Bore will teach you Na, Fury, the second word of whirlwind sprint. No. You must hear the word within yourself before you can project it into a form. Whirlwind sprint. Then it will be your turn. Master Bore. X. Now, your turn. Stand next to me. Master Bore will open the gate. Use your whirlwind sprint to pass through before it closes. Your quick mastery of a new theme, you are now ready. Retrieve, remain true to the way of the voice. You will return.
Time to take the express elevator down. Oh, sorry about that.